In 2025, I would like to see more black men everywhere. I just want to see y'all just doing more. Whatever you're doing, good or bad. Well, no, bad, knock it off. If you're doing good things, positive things, I just want to see more of it. I know you're out there doing great things. I just want to see more and encourage more brothers to do the same.
For 2025, I just want an honest black man that's for me and not for everyone else.
In 2025, I would like to see black men being more consistent and also being upfront and truthful about what they want in the beginning.
I would like for black men to go to the doctor more because health is wealth.
Hey y'all, my name is Leibaby, Leiibabii, and I'm a model. What I want to see from black men is I want to see a leader and reciprocating the same energy that your woman gives you.
Alright, so in 2025, I want men to be honest.
I want from black men in 2025, I want them to be more honest, more vulnerable, more trustworthy, loving, and respecting towards black women.
In 2025, I would like to see more black men heal. I want to see more black men get therapy. And also, I want black men to know that it is okay to preserve your body and wait until marriage. It is okay not to have a high body count or be promiscuous as a man. It is okay to treat your body like a temple. I want black men next year and the years beyond that to just heal.
And what I'm looking for from the black man in 2025 is protection, accountability, honesty, and have our backs like we have yours.
Hi, what I'm looking for in a black man in 2025 is communication, friendship, real friendship, loyalty, more respect, good dads, just good human beings.
So what I'm looking for from black men in 2025 is what I'm looking for from black men in 2025 is more sobriety. It's a lot of alcoholism and drugs in the community, killing us, tearing our families apart, damaging us, and killing other people. So I would like to see more sobriety and learning how to get through obstacles in life without depending on a substance or substances. Think about your future, think about your kids, your family, and yourself.
Okay. Unity, that's just it. I'm not gonna even try to overdo it. Stop letting society separate us and pin us against each other. It's just time for us to cut the bullshit and start working together. That's it.
How y'all doing today? We back with a new show at Truth Lounge TV. I'm Pierre.
Ty.
And we got 4 beautiful women as guests today. The name of the show, like we're doing something different. At the end of the day, like we always say, our show is about community and bringing everything together and strengthening the black family. And so we're doing something different today as well as next week. We have a show pretty much where me and Ty probably gonna do a lot of listening. I'm pretty sure y'all tired of hearing us talk anyway, especially me. And so we just trying to find out what y'all want from us as far as the black woman needs to see more of from us as black men going forward. But from the right, we're gonna introduce the ladies. Let them introduce themselves.
I'm Patricia. I'm a social media manager and a branding strategist.
Hello, I'm Renee, and I'm an artist.
Hey, I'm Lay. I'm a model, teacher, and college student.
Hey, I'm Kenya. I'm a professor at Tennessee State University and I am a program manager.
Hey.
So as you all see, we have a plethora of different types of women from different walks of life. So this should be a good conversation. So, T.Y.?
Oh yeah, well, before the ladies speak, first and foremost, what I would like to say I want from black men, honestly, is to be more honest with ourselves, because how can we be honest with our counterpart or even whoever we're dealing with. So if we're not honest with ourselves, that's what we felt in the beginning, because you know a lot of us get caught behind this facade of what we think we should be for the world. So I think once we get past the facade and wither that down, I think we can be more honest with ourselves. And then I think all other relationships can go a little bit further, because I know with a lot of women, that's a lot of what I hear from what we lack is, you know, the honesty. So I think once we be more honest with ourselves, I think we'll be more honest to the women. So that's my message to the black man. Just be honest with self first, and then, you know, once we get that honesty with us, we can be honest with everybody else.
All right. So, how do you ladies feel about the state of the black man right now going into 2025? As far as not just necessarily relationship-wise, political-wise, leader-wise, father-wise, in any aspect that we need to be trying to win at or lead at?
I think when it comes to partnership in a relationship, even in this day and age, we still fall victim to societal conditioning. I feel like this country still profits off of us battling with each other. And if you watch the last episode, that was basically the whole thing. Was us arguing about like silly shit, like who does what. And I just feel like we really need to wake up. It's time for us to stop looking at our phones, stop letting social media and society dictate how we should live our lives and how we should really interact with each other. So I feel like that's a great starting point. How we interact with each other at home, that's where it starts. That's how we carry on outside of the house. So.
And I see you mention the phone, and I will that part too. Like you seeing what somebody else doing, like damn, my man ain't never put no roses on the bed.
Yeah.
Or, you know, things like that. It start, you know, even though you want those things, but sometimes I think once you start seeing those things, it can start chipping away at your relationship.
Yeah,
you
social
know?
media glamorizes everything, and it doesn't really show you the real.
Yeah. How about you ladies?
I was going to say too, I agree with both of you all. Social media is the main killer of relationships these days and times. Like for the black man, I feel like he needs to heal more. You know, I think he needs to focus more on his inner walk than going on social media and then seeing people and seeing how glorious they look on social media. I think they should focus on themselves and not just see the glamour of social media. But yeah.
So when you say heal more, what you mean by heal more exactly?
Well, you know,
Like
if I can be honest, like the statistics say, most of the black, you know, people, they come from broken homes, right? They deal with not having a father figure in the household. So mostly black men don't have anyone to look up to in the household. It's mostly like the black woman playing that masculine or dominant role as the father, right? So I feel like just even going through that, they endure trauma. It's certain things they don't talk to their mother about because they feel like their mother can't relate to it, you know? So I feel like they harbor all of that, you know, brokenness. And also, like, most men are taught not to be emotional too. So I think they harbor all of that hurt in, then they carry that into their adulthood. And then that resort into them carrying that into their relationships. Then that resort into another broken potential home.
Going down into
going
parenting.
down to like parenting, right? Illegitimate children come out of that. So I just feel like they need to have therapy, right? They need to heal more as a community.
So we've talked about therapy on our show in past shows. I think TY does therapy. I've experienced therapy. I'm not really a fan of therapy.
Okay. Can
you know about
that? Why are you not a fan of therapy?
I think it's for, if it fits for you, if it's for you, then I'm not against it. It's just I just don't feel like it's for me. I think I can.
Why?
So
y'all hear the people in the back.
She meant that why.
I'm not saying.
Don't skate around the question.
Well, no. I'm not saying. Like I said, I'm not saying therapy's bad. I just don't think therapy's good for me individually. I think I can handle anything that I got.
There you go.
I've walked a walk on my own through a whole bunch of adversity, trauma, all that, and
That's why you need to talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. You have trauma. How are you dealing with that trauma?
Yeah, what are your coping mechanisms? Will you reach out?
I think most men suppress stuff.
That's not dealing with it.
Well, that is dealing with it. It's only, it's what you do for you doesn't mean that what doesn't work for you doesn't work for me.
So how you know it's working for you? Though?
Because I'm happy. I'm winning. I'm peaceful.
Define that. What is happiness?
Happiness. My happiness determines on how my children are raised. So as long as I'm able to create a situation where I can give them opportunity, and I'm steady evolving and creating situations so I can feed my family, so I can take care of my kids, I'm winning. I've done a whole lot in life on the negative side. So now I change my focus to I live for my kids. I push all these fucking clocks every day, punch all these clocks for these other people so they can give me a check so I can make sure that my family is straight.
Can I highlight one thing? So that is a facet of happiness, but what you focused on is pouring into other people. But what are you doing to pour into yourself?
That pours into me. Watching, knowing that I'm creating an opportunity for my kids.
I know, but what are you doing for your own self-development though?
In what way?
Dealing with your trauma.
But I never said I had trauma.
You didn't.
I said I've dealt with. I said I've dealt with trauma. I've been through trauma.
Hold
on, y'all ain't finna just attack me.
How did you deal
You
with
supposed to
your trauma?
chime in because you go to
I know, but see, I was gonna let you because we had this discussion prior to, and I had to get him to realize, even though he said he suppressed stuff, he could say it's suppressing, but he has mentioned before that it will be re-triggered if something happens. So that's basically what she said on that part. Like, yeah, we can suppress it, but when it's brought back to the forefront, how can you deal with it without you getting over anxious or riled up about the situation? That's basically that's what therapy kind of helps. Like, say if you know you
better tools to.
But how can you tell me therapy can't do the same thing as a thought of my children for me?
So you can't really say that unless you've been.
No, you can't really say that. I can say that because I'm talking about me.
You can't do a comparison saying, how do I know therapy is not going to work? What do you have to compare it to? You know?
What do I have to compare? I've been to therapy.
You've been to therapy.
I've done therapy in prison. I've done therapy in the halfway house. I've done therapy on the street. I've done therapy as a teenager. So I've been through therapy. It just didn't do nothing for me. I consistently got worse. By going through therapy, I consistently got worse. Doing it on my own, I consistently got better.
Okay.
So doing it about the therapy.
So would you say that you had the wrong therapist?
That's
It's possible, but I do say, I tell everybody, a therapist actually.
You should get up there.
All right. Now, okay, we got a new guest coming. You gonna sit right here?
You're supposed to be here anyway.
We got a new guest coming. She's
hey, you'll have to scoot over a little bit. She's gonna be off.
She's familiar to the show. I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with Santa. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Patrice Gaines, that's it.
Now, as I was saying, I've been through. What gave me an album? I was in prison. I was in the feds. I was doing 8 years and 9 months, and they made us do this group therapy. And this is probably the best thing that ever happened to me as far as therapy. In the midst of a conversation, she had all of us. She asked us all, and this is what changed my life, changed my view, changed my direction, changed my actions and everything. She asked everybody in the group, "Do you love your kids?" Everybody in there, a bunch of niggas. Yeah, I die for my kids. I do this, I do this. But in the midst of that, it hit me like I've been selfish. I'm in here because I chose to choose me over my kids. I chose to choose the things that I wanted. And I put the wrong things first. So once I made that internal decision to put my kids first, everything changed in my life.
And
it wasn't about trauma. It wasn't about what I've been through. It's about what I'm gonna make sure they don't go through.
Yeah, growth is a process. If you're still here, you're still growing. It's not. There's no finish line.
That's right.
So we go through these phases in life, and they're pretty common between everybody. But generally, it's. You might have, for you said you went through that season of selfishness. And then you had an aha moment where you woke up and realized that these people really mean something to you in your life. And that's great. So there were no mistakes made. There's no right or wrong. There's other modalities of therapy or to therapy. So it's not just a one-off be-all for everybody. You can do meditation, you can do spiritual practices, you can do anything. It's not just therapy. She's trying to get to the point, I believe.
How does he deal with it?
Yeah, but also I just want to speak on your love for your kids, because this is something that I'm still trying to address with my children. Most of my children being adults and out of the household now, because your child is small, I know. So just to give you a heads up, one day, and I know you know this, your baby's gonna grow up and live her own life. What is going to be your purpose outside of that? Because one day she's gonna have her own life. She's gonna have her husband, she's gonna have her kids. And there's gonna be this moment when you realize I poured everything into my children, which is great, but you have to make sure there's some balance. There still has to be something for you. Your purpose isn't just to serve other people. You're also here. And I know that men, due to society, you feel like your obligation is to be a caretaker. But you still have a right to your own identity. You're beyond taking care of people. It's great. Y'all are great at it. But who are you outside of that?
That's deep.
It is deep, but I will always say that being a parent is a selfless act. So parents do a lot of things so their kids don't have to go through the things that they went through. So you'll see a lot of people being married for 25 years and then they get a divorce because their kids are grown and out the house. Then they start living for themselves. I'm not saying there's no right or wrong. It's whatever fits you. So that's.
And then we really have to look at what that mindset, how that mindset affects other aspects in our life. Because as you just said, it ends up in divorce for a lot of people because they felt like their only purpose was to raise the children. How does that mindset affect you? Because you could find yourself unhappy in your relationship later down the line because you've been too busy living for this person. And you get tired of that because when you're living for somebody, you're not really doing the things that you want to do for yourself. You're gonna get tired of it.
Oh, I forgot that's a cue, my bad. I don't feel like everybody needs therapy. I think as long as you have good tools in your toolbox, that's enough to get you through whatever you're going through now. What you have in your box isn't working, then it's up to you to find other things to manage whatever you have going on in your life. Kind of like what you were saying. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But most men just got a hammer in their toolbox.
Yeah, you need other stuff.
So that's what therapy, that's the reason, like I say, I'm very smart, but therapy also gave me, like you say, gave me the extra tools, you know, to chisel this down. You know, like I say, I'm a very independent person, but it took me the therapy to learn that I got to count on some people sometimes, you know what I mean? And, you know, to be more brave, like I speak my mind, but to speak my mind in a way that, like I had, you know, when you speak your mind a certain way, you may offend people or you say it a certain way. So learning how to say my words the right way without being offensive, you know, or feel like I'm not being true to myself. So that's another thing I would say, therapy. It give you the tools. Anything you want to say?
So many.
Oh yeah, I just want to say to you, I wasn't trying to antagonize you.
Oh no, it's cool.
Devil's advocate, but I really wanted to see how did you deal with your triggers. If you found out without going to therapy, that's, you know, that's great.
Well, most of my stuff I actually suppress, and I think I'm good at that. Bearing.
Yeah, and when it comes up, because I'm sure other men suppress their emotions, or triggers, but when it comes back up, how would you tell black men that goes through the same thing you do, deal with like triggers or suppressed emotions?
All right, another thing for me with therapy, I think with therapy you have to be willing to be 110% honest. Not necessarily with the counselor or the therapist, but with yourself. With me, I'm not willing to be that. I'm not willing to be there with a person I don't know.
Yeah, outside of therapy, what are you to yourself?
Well,
like, how are you?
My coping mechanism?
Yeah.
Work, and work.
That's a distraction.
I work 4 jobs, but see, that's an opinion for a person that's not doing it.
I think that's a coping mechanism, though.
I would say it is.
So what happens when everything stops? Are you okay?
When everything stops, my daughter will be a sophomore in college, and I think I'll be fine, because I'll be able to watch her enjoy life, and then I'll be able to enjoy my grandbabies. Then I'll be able to enjoy different things. I'll be able to rechannel my energy towards what her and my other daughters have given me in their seeds.
So your grandchildren?
Yeah. See, I like I said, I lived on the other side of the law for 30 years, so I've done a lot. I've been a lot of places.
So this is good to be on this side, no matter how you do it. No matter how you do all the stuff, I'm better than I was before. So
right, I'm the best version. I'm the best version of Pierre in 48 years. So I'm not going to.
Is there room to get better?
It's definitely room to get better. I grow every single day.
As someone that has spent a lot of time working to keep my mind off of things, when I finally stop, it's like, dang, I thought I learned that lesson, and I didn't. But all I was doing was working. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you stop. Even when you're saying when I watch my daughter, like when you really stop and you have nothing else going on, nothing comes back up. Maybe you got easily irritated by something. Could I have handled that better if I had time to sit in some of the stuff that I've been trying to suppress for so long? Like when you really stop, what goes through your head?
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't know. See, I know what time feels like when it stands still, right? When time stops in prison, I know what time feels like when it stops. That's right. That's a real So in that situation, I can speak on that. But out here since I've been out doing the right thing, time hasn't stopped. So I can't sit and say that I've had a chance to evaluate Pierre, but I've evaluated my situation and I'm comfortable with it.
You don't want to evaluate Pierre?
No, I've had quite a few people evaluate me, and I'm not happy with the determinations that they came with.
No, but when you evaluate Pierre, do you like what comes up?
I love who I am, because I know I'm better than I used to be. So, and it's only, and the only thing, I got more years behind me than I do ahead of me. The only thing I can do is get better. I'm definitely not going backwards, so I can't get worse.
Okay, Pierre, I think you're in a hot seat. I think everybody needs to talk about how they deal with their triggers, you know?
Definitely.
I think everybody needs to be in a hot seat as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with, well, you've been talking.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been talking?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay.
How you deal with your triggers? The triggers.
How I deal with my triggers? I do have people I can talk to. But I can't say I'm managing the best way that I could right now. Because when you do go to therapy, you have to be 100. And I can't say that I've been 100% with my therapist, but I've been 100% with myself. And as a daughter of someone that did 20 years, like you said, time stops when you're in there. And right now, me and my father's situation is not as good as it could be, because now that his clock has started over, he's still suppressing things. And his way of dealing with things is like spirituality and a list of other things that distract him from dealing with his actual stuff. So now that he gets to go again, I don't feel like he's dealing with. So that's why I'm like, how do you really deal when things really stop?
Well, I'm gonna say this to add to what I already said as we move on past me.
I'm sorry.
No. I don't mind. Understand. I don't mind being on the spot, because I know I feel like I can speak on different levels that a lot of people can't speak on.
Okay.
I'm actually an acting or practicing Muslim. I haven't taken my shahada yet, but I'm practicing the Islamic faith. I've been a Christian all my life. I went to Catholic school when I was in grammar school. So now that I am praying differently and more in the form of Islam, I've been more at peace. So that I think that's a coping mechanism that I found also in giving things to Allah that I know I can't handle.
I agree with that. I'm big on spirituality, really big on it. And I'm a Christian, so what I do for myself to keep me at peace, because I'm telling you, in this season of my life, I'm going through a lot of issues with my manager. She's very passive aggressive. It's like she can attest to it. She's my coworker, Meredith over there. Like, we really trying to get up out of there. And she's extremely passive aggressive. She antagonizes you. She puts you on spot, make you feel like you're just the smallest thing ever. So that triggers my anxiety. You know, I think I had anxiety since I was a little girl, and you know, I had like a fear of abandonment issues a lot, the fear of being the outcast. And I go to therapy. but I still have those triggers. But you know how I deal with it is I just pray. Sometimes, like when I go home, I turn everything off. I sit by myself for 10 minutes, thinking about nothing, blank my mind out, and I just sit with God. And whatever He does in that moment, it's like He's. I feel like He's cultivating, doing surgery on the inside of me. Sometimes you don't need to pray. You don't need to say scriptures. You don't. Sometimes you can just cry. You can scream if you want to.
That's because He hears your tears.
Exactly. He hears the moaning. He hears the groaning. Like, just by me sitting there in silence, I feel the most peace I have never felt in my life. So spirituality for me, it really cultivated me as an individual. It really gave me the peace that no man can ever give me. So that's why I'm saying, when you pour into yourself spiritually, you become the best version of yourself. Like, it's like you beat your flesh. Flesh failed you, as you know. If we do life by ourselves without God, who are we? You know? Who is like protecting us? God foresees everything that happens. It's been plenty of times that I could have died in a millisecond. But the fact that God looks over me, He protects me, like I know I'm good. So that's why I say spirituality it should be number one. And then it can be therapy after that. But God is first for me. That really helps me.
Well,
how do you deal with your triggers?
Most of my triggers came from growing up in Chicago, so I don't really have any more triggers that much.
Women don't trigger you?
That's a whole other story though.
So how you deal with it? But we speaking on triggers.
I'm not triggered by them though. That's the thing. You know, I was triggered with.
I'm triggered by
when my situation was what it was. But no, I'm not usually triggered by women. Women don't antagonize me. Most of the time, women are the protagonists in my life. Mostly women come in my life and try to save a nigga, even though I don't need to be saved, but they try to. That's the thing I will say. Like in the last 2 years, I had a lot of women come in my life and help guide me the right way, you know, and give me the right tools. You know, that's what I was telling somebody not too long ago. Even like I was saying on one of the podcasts, that's why I kind of cherish black women a lot. You know, that's why I try to speak highly of them, because besides my situation, it's rare that I've been done wrong by a black woman. And then that's why I say I'm trying to be honest with myself, because like I say, I was the one being dishonest with them, because it's like I say, it's more women than men. So, and when you got charisma and you a nice person, it's easy, and I'm a social, so it's easy for me to befriend a woman. So that was probably one of my biggest issues, just having a lot of women friends. But and that don't mean intentionally I'm dealing with them all, but that part, no. But that part too, like I said, that was an issue. Now I will admit that was an issue I was having a few years ago when I, being single and the dating scene. You're dealing with certain girls. I was trying to be as honest as possible. Like the girls, like, what you doing? I was trying to be so honest. Like, well, shit, I'm single. I'm finna go on this date with this. But like I say, that's why I try to tell people you can't be honest, because every time I was being honest, so that's why sometimes you gotta lie. And I hate to say that because no woman, like I'm being real, no woman. I'm just saying, when I was single and I tell a woman, they like, hey T-Y, what you about to do? Hey, I'm finna go out with another young lady. They wasn't trying to hear that shit, so it had to be, well, I'm just finna go out.
You just play games.
But it ain't even play games. No, see, listen what I'm saying. When you're dating, see, once again, when you're dating, see, I was single. So when I'm single, I'm dating.
So after T.Y. said what he had to say, man, get on his ass just like y'all get on my ass. But the youngest person on the panel, how do you deal with your triggers?
Honestly, I never really knew how to deal with my triggers, because as a military child, you always have to adapt to different circumstances, so you don't really get to have time to express how you feel or anything like that. You're just kind of structured all the time. So when you started talking about therapy, I didn't like to go to therapy, and I never could go to therapy because of my pride. I felt like, well, why do I need to talk to you about my feelings? You don't know what I've been through. You're just here for a paycheck. So I never cared to go to therapy.
I feel the same way.
And I feel like my therapy was when I had looked away from God, and then I went back to going through God. And then I became a teacher, and when I seen how the kids really actually express their feelings and stuff like that, it kind of drew me to go express my feelings, because I can't be mentally unstable, and I'm dealing with younger children who are developing their mental state. So it was kind of hard. Like, I think for me, it was just expressing my feelings. I was scared to cry and be emotional. And over time, I had to realize, you know, it's okay to cry. It's okay that you're not okay, because I always was taught, you know, you have to be 100% perfectionist. You have to always do everything right. And I would always distract myself by always going to work, drinking, smoking, and then in my family, it was just broken. Like, I grew up with addicts and, you know, drug addicts and all that throughout my life. So it's like, nobody necessarily cares. So it's like, why should you necessarily care to express yourself how you feel? But yeah, that's just how
And I cry every day.
I don't.
I'm crying like a motherfucker.
Like real tears?
Real tears. I'm crying like a motherfucker.
Does it happen at a certain time of the day, like in the morning?
That shit just
when
be
you
happening
wake
randomly.
up?
I didn't have some days, but yeah, so I understand. So basically what we're doing, like, this is a new format for our show. We have one of the guests back here. She has a comment.
I do.
Yes,
So since we're talking about how we deal with things, I'm in therapy, so I do not frown upon therapy. Therapy is a personal choice.
Yes.
So what am I wanting from black men? Have you ever got in a relationship and then you came single, and then you start asking these questions, and you start asking them, and you start saying, well, if you're being honest about your situation or your ex or whatnot, I don't like when, excuse me, y'all, my voice is about to go out, but I don't like when you dump on and you talk negatively about your ex, right? Because to me, you're deflecting. I understand, because you're a villain in somebody's story, right?
Everybody.
So I think all of us, like, when we're going into these situations with these men and women, I think we all need to be honest about the work we're putting in when we're single. And we're really putting in the work before we get into relationships and carrying over whatever trauma whatever trauma that's been caused to us, right? And so I think it's about having these honest conversations and being very candid and transparent when you're doing, because right now everything we're doing, you know, my therapist tells me, because I'm learning to be more honest. Like, they're telling me to speak up more, but they say we're adults trying to get over our childhood. I'll say that again. We're all adults just trying to get over. Most of our trauma came from our childhood, or somewhere when we were young in our 20s, right? And so for me, I'm about to be 50. So where I'm at right now is being honest. So I like when people are honest with me. You know, if you are dealing with something, give me the chance to say I can deal with it. Don't lie. Don't try to use those big words. Don't say, let me, like you just said in the front row. You know, you don't have to do that. Let's have these more conversations, because to me, I feel like those are the women you're dealing with. Don't take my ultimatum away from me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, give me that. So that's what I'm looking for in 2025. More honesty, more transparency, and I'm also looking for you to take accountability of whatever issues you got before you get into relationships with anybody. And that's where I stand on it.
Okay.
Did I speak loud enough for you?
Yeah, you spoke loud enough. That was enough to be heard. So,
Can I ask a question on that?
thank you for the comment. We need you to come into the camera if you don't mind.
I'm not in the camera. But I agree with you 100%. But one thing I've learned, because I've been in therapy before.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm cool right here, right?
Speak up a little bit. Just speak up a little bit for us.
Is that, are you being more honest with yourself too in
Therapy
2025? Because you say that's what you want, and I agree with you. That's what I want too. But what I had to learn is to be honest, more honest with myself, and from the get-go, from the very beginning, to make sure that I'm honest. I date multiple people. This is not something I'm expecting. I'm not fucking all these people, but like very honest with men. So
you sure?
And to me, that makes me feel like they know, and I take accountability. Oh, you know what? That was me. I had sugar last night. I ain't even gonna lie. I had sugar last night. But you know what? That's on me. I take accountability and I express that. So when you say you're going into 2025 and expecting that from men, are we doing it with ourselves? But I do agree with you.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I never ask anyone to do anything that I'm not willing to do. So I'm being very honest with the man, and I expect the man to be honest with me. I need consistency.
But I think everybody wants honesty. Men and women. Everybody wants transparency. Men and women. Everybody. I mean, everybody's not capable of giving it, but everybody wants it. Even the liar wants it.
Hey, but
the liar wants you to be honest and you to be transparent, so I can lie to you and get over on it. At the end of the day, so everybody wants it. Don't mean you're gonna get it.
Yeah, and then we got to figure out the difference between honesty and transparency too.
Well, transparency is.
Well, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people be getting that shit misconstrued sometimes, man. You know how people don't know how to use the
well, at the end,
vocabulary.
But at the end of the day, in the beginning of any relationship, you are who you tell me you are.
Shit.
I don't know if you're being transparent.
Oh, I'm about to go have a drink.
That part, transparency.
With Kelly.
Okay.
Transparent. Oh, I'm going to go have a drink with Kelly, but also Pierre.
So what is they telling you though?
They're not lying about that they're having a drink with Kelly, and also they're transparent.
Everybody.
So you want to?
They want to leave all that out.
So you just want to marry?
I was having a drink with Kelly, but then here comes
Dave, Mark.
And I knew y'all were coming.
Right.
Yeah, that's been transparent.
Yeah. True. Right. Okay. That's what I just said. That's the part where the transparency and the honesty come.
So is there a difference between, because I'm listening. So my dad used to say, kid, you listening, but you're not understanding me. So in everything, like I could be talking to who I'm with, because I'm going to go back to in a relationship. Are you understanding me? You can hear me all day, but you're not understanding me. You're not seeing me, right? So, and that's vice versa. I'm saying women and men, man and woman. I'm not dumping. This is not a dump session. This is what y'all ask. What are we looking for? I'm looking to be not only you hear me, but do you really hear me? Because hearing me will lead to you understanding me. So now we can get somewhere, because you want me to listen to you and accept you, but are you really listening and accepting me, right? Go ahead.
People always want to focus on being communication.
Right.
But you got to comprehend my communication.
That's what I'm saying. Do you understand?
I'm going to get back to that conversation. Let me hear what she got to say, but I definitely got something to say.
Go ahead. I think we're all saying that we want honesty and transparency, but we need patience to go along with that too.
Definitely.
Because if I'm being honest with you and I'm telling you things, I don't need you to throw me away. Because obviously I'm comfortable enough, I'm willing to be vulnerable, I'm sharing things with you.
I think that's the part people scared.
Huh?
That's what they scared of part, because you know, most people do tell it honestly, like you said, they might get put on the back burner. It's like, damn,
but that's
I was
the
bearing
thing.
my soul.
You need to be patient with the information that you're asking for. If you want me to be honest, I'm telling you this, that, and the third. These are the things that do X, Y, and Z. I don't need you to have me tell you all this information, but oh, I can't deal with that. I'm out of here.
Why not?
We can deal with
Why
that.
not? That's not the
because
person for you. But
that could be it, but we just can't throw people away. Because like my grandmother tells me, who had a beautiful marriage with my grandfather. They don't have all the traumas and families over the tracks, all other stuff. When I listen to the stories from my grandparents, they're great stories. They had their hiccups, but it's not with everybody. I'm not my grandparents. Well, your grandparents back in the day, they
did it right.
They stuck together, whether they were sticking together with bullshit or not. They stuck together. And if you talk to anybody in marriage, they can say, yeah, we're here 30 years, but that doesn't mean we didn't go through things. And so you have to be able to overcome. So when you're dealing with people and you're asking to be honest with them, you have to be patient with them. You just can't throw them away because you got stuff to deal with too. That may not be easy. And I think a lot of times we say we want things, but we don't realize we come with shit too.
I think a lot of people say like...
And that doesn't make you a doormat. You're allowed to say you don't want to deal with something, but just know that we're all coming with something.
We are, but I agree with you, but I respect the fact that someone can that just may not be for me, and that's okay. I'd rather someone be up for me and say, baby, I can't deal with that. You're a good person, but I can't deal with that. And waste my motherfucking time.
That's her setting.
That's true, but how many times are you gonna shuffle through people to the point where it's like, maybe I'm being a little harsh?
No.
Maybe there's some things.
Your harsh may be different from my harsh though.
Yeah, that's
I can deal with something that she may not be able to deal with.
Well, I'm gonna get back to your question in 1 minute. I went over some things as far as from a man. I think black men need to work on in 2025. Now I'm gonna go through these characteristics of this list of things, and we can kind of chime in if you want to. I started out with empathy. One thing that black men don't have for each other or women in their community is empathy. We don't give a fuck about each other. We don't care about what we go through with each other. We don't care about what the next black man or the black woman is going through individually. Whether it's single parenthood, whether it's the 50-50 chance that a man takes when he walks out the house, whether he's gonna come back home. Whether it's single motherhood. All these different things that we have to face as a community. That's just one that I came up with. Understanding.
Respect.
Respect is a big thing in the black community, and so many different levels of respect in the black community. It's kind of hard because depending on the classification of the men or the women that you're dealing with, respect comes from here to here to here to here.
Can you define that? I don't understand.
Well, it just depends on who you're dealing with.
Like who would
Some people carry respect in a totally different way than everybody else or other people. My level, what I deem as respecting me from a woman or a man's perspective may be totally different than what you deem respect is to you. I was in a relationship for 6.5 years, and not to say anything bad about it, but we had different levels of what respect meant to us individually.
What does respect mean to you?
What does respect mean to me?
In regards to women.
Loyalty, trust. I need to know that I can fall asleep and not worry about myself at night. Trust. I need to trust that you, when shit get thick, you there. Because if you ain't there when shit get thick, fuck you.
Do you feel like...
That's how you respect a man. Understand? I think we've all heard that. Now, respecting a woman is totally different because all of y'all change. You all evolve faster than me. So you change faster than me. Your preferences change more than me. So your level of respect in your 30s ain't the same level of respect you wanted in the 20s. Your level of respect in your 40s ain't the same level. But as a man, my level of respect is the same no matter what year I'm in.
Okay, so as a man, how many times you gotta be thick?
How many times you gotta be thick?
How many times you expect us to go through thick?
You shouldn't have to go through thick and thin. I mean, but that's part. But when you depending on the level of your relationship, if you made it to marriage, you made that vow. I did. You see what I'm saying? If you made that vow in marriage, then you're supposed to always be there. The statistic says black women are throwing marriages away more than black men.
Nowadays,
those are stats. So, but everything ain't on a man though. Everything ain't on a man. Women have to take accountability just like you asking men to take accountability.
Right. But she said how many times you gonna go through that thickness?
That's the.
You're right. She's not gonna keep on doing it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, hold on.
Well, let me tell you what I right.
But hold on.
Wait, let me get this out. I'm sorry, let me get this out.
I've gotten a rabbit hole.
Listen, I will go through 50 different things with you.
But you want to know how many times I'm gonna go through it with you?
Hold on.
One. What
I'm saying is, I will go through 50 different things with you. I'm not going to go through the same motherfucking thing with you 50 motherfucking times. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. This is the thing with women. Y'all will say, y'all don't want to do all of this, but y'all don't want, y'all had Leroy, Pooh Bear, Pookie. Wait. But I didn't go through shit with them. Wait. You all chose the men that y'all chose to go through shit with multiple times, knowing who they were, but then now at a different age, you're like, okay, I understand. We should always evolve. You get to a different level where you say, okay, well, I don't want to be the same type of nigga, but you run back to the same type of nigga.
And let's bring it back. Bring it back.
You're not talking about what I'm talking about.
You telling me what you gonna deal with, but you don't want to know what a man got to deal with.
We were talking about respect. This young lady over here wanted to know from you
how many times. I can't tell her how many times she gonna go through some bullshit with the nigga she choose.
She said 50 times. You said once. My thing is, cause this my home therapist. She don't know me like that, but she know me. So, okay, I go through it 50 times, but in the midst of me going through it 50 times, you ain't just saying fuck it. You gonna go through it 50 times.
I'm gonna ask you one question.
You're gonna train me to go through that shit, but when I'm trying not to be trained to go through your shit, you feel me? It's a problem.
So you forgot how to make choices?
No, I'm sorry.
You forgot how to make decisions?
My second is if I can go through shit with you and you explain to me that it's gonna get better, what the fuck make it different?
Okay, now I understand what you're saying, but see, those are conversations that you should have in the beginning of. Before y'all jumped into something and made it, I'm with you, you with me, we doing this. This is a conversation that y'all need to have. How many times, where do you stand with me where I have to go through shit for you, but you don't have to go through shit with me? Some men willing, you got some suckers, strips, and simps out here. They willing to go through all this shit with you. Then you got some men out here that ain't gonna go through that bullshit with you, just like you got some women out here that ain't gonna go through that bullshit with a nigga.
I'm almost 50 and I ain't.
Right, but you done went through that bullshit in your younger years, right?
I've done some dumb shit in my
All of us have, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You be
I don't have to do that.
What's the next on the list?
Still on empathy?
No, we passed.
And that's what this whole conversation is, some empathy.
All right. Shit. Go ahead.
This is the last thing about respect, right?
Okay, back on respect.
I need you black men to kind of armor up. This might hurt a little bit. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Growing up, going through middle school, high school, college, I've always been around black men that didn't value themselves and black men that did not respect black women. I blame it on hip hop culture. But like some black men don't open the door for you. You know, they quit the
chivalry is dead.
Yes, it's completely dead with the
chivalry is not dead.
I mean, I would say completely.
You're an older man.
Yeah.
Oh, they call that shit too now.
But I've always felt that black men just couldn't protect me. They always felt that you were after them.
So who you thought was gonna protect you?
Let me finish. Right? I'm getting somewhere, right?
Okay.
So when I went to TSU, went to college, I met my first Nigerian male friend. And the thing is, like, they treat you like a queen. Like, and the fact is, they make me feel like I was a part of their family. They pay for everything. And just like, I never felt that belonging to a community like I did with African Americans. You know what I mean? Even with the African females. Like, if you take interest in their culture, it's like, oh, come over here.
And
like, you my sister, you my brother. Yes. And since that moment, I've never dated an American black man. But I just wish, but I've always felt that, I felt that this was like a close-mindedness that I had growing up. I felt that if I got pregnant by a black man, he gonna leave me.
Or a black American man.
Black American man, he was gonna leave me. That's what I saw. I was conditioned to think that way. My father wasn't in the household at all. He didn't take care of us. He left us. Like every opportunity that I saw a black man deal with like a woman that he got pregnant, he left.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I see like when women have their baby showers, it's always the woman that's pregnant. Where's the man? Yeah. Like you see that consistently, back to back to back.
So what you're saying is, one of the things that you're saying, and I'm just hopping around in your statement.
No, I'm kind of biased a little bit. I know that's.
No, I understand what you're saying with foreigners and how our culture. Like one of the shows I actually want to do is talk to different cultures.
I love that.
Because I know the way men treat, the way the African men in different cultures treat the women, the way the Latino men treat the women in their community ain't the same as American men. I definitely agree. But you mentioned something about fatherhood.
Wait, did you say all black men are the same?
No, aren't.
I'm sorry.
No, you mentioned something about fatherhood. That was one of the next things that I feel like we need to do better as black men going into 2025. So if y'all don't mind chiming in on fatherhood, I understand what you're saying about how women and men are conditioned at times about.
Why is it so hard for y'all to deal with kids? Your father, like, I'm gonna speak from experience. Like, I have my dad but don't have my dad. And my baby daddy, he literally got issues with his dad, but he'll tell me all day, you need to go to therapy, which I do go to therapy, but why is it so hard for him to go to therapy? And why when I tell him to go to therapy, it's like I'm talking down on him.
It's not a man thing, though. Now, it should be a human thing. It should be a human thing, therapy.
Okay, not go to therapy, because I'm going to be honest. Talk to whoever you feel comfortable talking to.
But your
Whatever
man,
it is that you can do. But
are you making it a safe space for your man to talk to you?
I mean, damn, how long?
Our food is
It's been like 4 years.
Ego gets in the way.
Like, goddamn.
But a lot now, I'm just gonna throw this out there. And I know every woman in here probably finna jump on my neck. Do a lot of women make it a safe space for a man to come to them in a relationship?
I do. Yes.
Now I'm gonna say this: a lot of women have inflated egos about y'all making a safe space, but y'all really don't make a safe space. Now I can't speak for nobody in here individually in particular, but me personally, I've never found a safe space in a woman.
Give me an example. You never fuck with the right woman.
And that may be true. That may be true. That may be true. So if you, but I'm gonna tell you something. When a man finds a safe space in a woman, you'll be married. So how many men fuck with you the wrong way?
Too many, but I'm divorced.
So that's what I'm saying.
You have to date a lot of men.
You don't have to date a lot of men, just like you don't have to date a lot of women. But I'm saying one of the things where a lot of our issues, I think, when it comes to relationships that bleed out into the children, that bleed out into the community, is neither one of us, men or women, as far as in the black American community, make it safe for either one of us to come to each other. We always on guard, even with our partners, even with our mates. We feel I'm on guard with my homies. You're on guard with your female friends.
That's y'all motherfucking fault. Y'all hanging around the wrong motherfuckers.
This is just reality, though. No. This is the reality.
I'm not in a way, it is reality because you cannot trust.
That's not my reality.
No, it's not mine either.
That's not my reality.
Now you got don't misunderstand me. You got men out here that got some good homies. Been there, ride or die. You got some women out here that got some good homies. Ride or die. But I'm saying when you started, like I said, the goal of our podcast is to bring family back together. If you look from the family, we're leading in the divorce rate when you average it out. When any demographic of people, white, Asian, black, all of that. So somewhere along the line, somebody's not feeling safe in them relationships. And when you don't feel safe in them relationships, you create the kids not feeling safe. Once them kids not feeling safe, they grow up to not be safe with nobody around them. Whether it's their homies, whether it's their home girls, whether it's their teachers, whether it's the police. We create the atmosphere for what we live in.
Do you see the cycle that you just mentioned though? Because you said it's with us and then it goes to our children. So if it starts for our children in their childhood, where does it start for us? It starts in our childhood.
But someone has to break the generational curse.
But the thing is, how do you recognize what the generational curse is? You have to address the root. Everybody doesn't have the same trauma.
Right.
You have to, we as a human behavior, because I've went to school and I've studied psychology, you have to understand where it stems from.
Yeah.
Most of us function, first of all, we're all creatures of habit. We make thousands of decisions in our head every single day. We have thousands of thoughts every single day. 90% of the things that you do in a day, you do it subconsciously without even thinking. You drive home and you get home and you're so tired you don't even remember driving home because it was habit. You didn't even have to think about it. That's how we operate in a day-to-day life. You might be doing things in your life that's affecting your relationship with whoever and not even realize what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like, oh, I didn't know that I came off aggressive. Okay, just realize that there's something I need to work on. But how do you work on that? You gotta find out where it's coming from.
But you also need to have some accountability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because y'all don't have
and that circles back to the same.
Hold on.
But listen, that circles back to the same place. Everybody in this room is right.
Not all of y'all, but the middle.
Don't say y'all.
Let's bring it down. Hold on. Everybody can't talk at one time. Everybody can't talk at one time.
And that's the problem, because everybody wants to speak and everybody wants to express themselves, and that's okay. But that's part of why we don't have a safe place within each other, is because we all want to be heard. We all want to be heard instead of listening.
But everybody don't want to listen.
So I do got one question. What you just holler out? Men don't have accountability?
Women, some of them don't. We can't put the same. We can't put broad.
Oh, I said it.
Topics.
I can give you perfect examples. Yeah, I can give you perfect examples of why men don't have accountability.
We listen.
Because at the end of the day, when you with your homeboys, if you sitting around talking and they know you talking bullshit, they not holding you accountable. Hey man, that's fucked up. That's not right.
But it's not every man.
And I'm not saying it's not every man.
So
No, it's not.
No.
Because guess what? If I'm with her and she wrong, guess what I'm gonna say? Hey, that's not right.
That's very rare, guys. Very rare.
That's not right. But I will tell her.
What I'm saying is the same thing. Like,
No, what I'm
you can't
saying
speak
is,
for all
if
guys as well,
no,
because
I
it's
didn't
the
say
same way.
all guys. What I'm saying is,
You say y'all. So it's
and I didn't. Well,
I don't think anybody in here is saying
Speaking
that all
in general.
men are the same
Correct.
or all women
Say
are
y'all.
the same.
Correct.
That means all.
I know, but this is a
No, that's not
conversation.
So when you say,
Everybody can't speak at the same
I
time.
can speak for.
Everybody can't speak at the
If I
same
say
time.
my fiance,